Possibly the biggest reason why you're not consistently getting good beams on controller is because you're not practicing the right aiming fundamentals. The left movement stick plays a much bigger role in aiming than many people realize. You need to play into how your aim assist works and not against it. The biggest reason why controllers have aim assist isn't even necessarily because of the small surface area, but because in order for you to change the direction that you're looking at, your thumbstick must always come to the central rest position first before moving to the other direction. If you're panning left and you want to begin panning right, that thumbstick has to reach that central rest position and then move over to the right. This is what creates that space for inaccuracy on a controller. Now, in order to have this level of consistency that we're looking for on a controller, you're going to practice something called the mirror strafe. The mirror strafe is a technique where you simply copy your opponent's strafe pattern. If they go left, you go left. If they go right, you go right. If they go up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, you go up, up, down, down, left, right, BA. Now, no seriousness. All that you're going to have to work on once you start copying their movement is just controlling your weapon's recoil and making micro adjustments with your right stick. Now, why is the mirror strafe something you should learn? It's for two main reasons, really. The first one being that it throws off your opponent. If you've ever fought somebody who copies your exact strafe pattern, you'll know what I'm talking about. It feels very awkward. The second reason is that it just makes aiming easier. The easier something is to do, the more consistent you can be at it. The goal is to work smarter, not harder. Could you cook up some cracked strafe pattern that's virtually impossible to predict or track? Sure. You're probably not going to be very consistent though. Also, when it comes to longer ranges, this is where your ability to control recoil comes into play. If you can get good at controlling your weapon's recoil, it'll make the mirror strafe so much easier to pull off. Just spend a few minutes when you get on practicing recoil control with your favorite weapon, and you'd be amazed at how easy it becomes to beam people. You don't want to feel like you're fighting with your weapon. Without good recoil, that one clip I showed you at the beginning of the video would never have even happened. His gun basically didn't even move. Now let's take a second look at the clip. Snapdown's about to strafe left in a second. Zainu strafes left with him. Snapdown went back to the right over there. Zainu follows him and goes right. By the time Snapdown reaches around here, he starts to sort of like jitter strafe in a way. And Zainu does the same thing and begins the jitter strafe. We're going to rewind that and watch it back. You see that? He just copies the movements of the person in front of him. All he does is he controls his R9's recoil, making his gun steady, just straight like a laser. He acquires the target and he just follows him. And that's how he was able to get that beam. Let's watch it back one more time. We're going to watch it in full speed this time. Alright, here's another example. This is a little one clip I got in control the other day. Not nearly as impressive as Zainu's, but it does to help get the point across, so I decided to include it. Starts going right here. I follow. He goes left. I go left. Just like that. I make a little micro adjustment with my right stick, if y'all notice there, just to help maintain my target. But yeah, that mirror strafe just helps make those micro adjustments so much easier. All right, so here's going to be the third and final example for what I'm talking about. Here you're going to see this Horizon over here. She's going to run this direction. I'm going to climb up on this fence in a second. I'm just going to line up my crosshairs, control that recoil, and move left as she's running in that direction as well. And I get a nice like 162 beam or something like that on her. I'm going to play it and y'all are going to see. Plain and simple. She's running in that direction and I just move in that same direction. As you can see, there's virtually no movement on my right stick except for recoil control. I just move my stick to the left and yeah. A very good way to practice learning the mirror strafe is by shooting the dummies in the firing range. What you want to do is you want to set the movement speed to run and then you're going to set the strafe to random. You'll quickly see just how weird their strafe patterns can be. A lot of people have very rhythmic strafes, so the dummies will do a good job of forcing you to properly mirror strafe because their strafes are not rhythmic. From there, you can start putting your practice to the test in a game of mixtape where you're fighting actual people and you can get into as many as 25 engagements in a 10 to 15 minute span of time. A few pieces of advice for when you start practicing this. It should go without saying, but this is obviously not going to work if you're standing out in the middle of the open with no cover in sight and you're just expecting to one clip whoever's in front of you because you know how to mirror strafe. you still need to play your cover and choose your engagements wisely. Don't just throw away all the knowledge that you acquired in the game because you know how to beam people now. Additionally, not every engagement is going to call for a mirror strafe. Now, in a situation where you can, and especially if you started shooting first, throw in that mirror strafe and maximize your damage output, okay? Even if they hit all their shots, you're gonna win the fight because you started shooting first. Now, to summarize everything that we've talked about today, if you want to consistently get nice beams on controller, learn how to mirror strafe and master recoil control. If you can do those two things, I guarantee you there will be improvements in your aim. With all that being said, y'all take care.